So I started to break down for Senator Greenstein what I felt was a big fundamental flaw in the fair funding formula, which is the way the property values and the income is computed, especially in a town like Monroe Township, where over half of the residents are senior citizens. And as I started to try to have an intellectual conversation with Ms. Senator Greenstein, she told me, why don't you write a letter? And I'll get that letter over to the guy I know that really knows this funding formula, and he'll let you know whether your understanding of it is right or wrong. I said, well, what do you think of my understanding, Senator? I mean, am I not? All of a sudden, then I was joined by two residents who likewise expressed their concerns about the fair funding formula, and she also advised them to write letters to her that she could pass on. So I think, for me, my mind was pretty blown at that point that Senator Linda Greenstein, who's been in the legislature for 20 years now, doesn't really have a grasp on the fair funding formula, that she can't articulate it herself. I can understand a new legislator in Trenton who maybe could say, look, I wasn't there in 2008 when they made the fair funding formula, but she had already been in Trenton for 8 years by that point. So this is not really a referendum against Linda Greenstein. I tried that about a year ago. This is really just about what is the school board doing as far as advocating for that fair funding. We have a committee meeting where we're talking about letter writing campaigns and all these other failed attempts in the past to get funding. I got a lot of flack for trying to compare Monroe Township's funding to Newark, the city of Newark. And I wasn't really trying to specify anything specific about Newark other than that it's the largest school district in our state, and it gets over $1 billion, while Monroe Township gets $9 million. So I'd like to give a better example of Edison Township, where I grew up, which now this year will have $47 million, up from $36 million last year. That's a $12 million, one-third increase in funding over the course of 12 months. And I'm going to read a quote from the superintendent in Edison, who said that the increases have enabled our school district to dedicate money to capital and building projects, to upgrade facilities, and provide relief to our community to the many overcrowding issues that we have. Gee, that sounds very familiar. These are the same issues that I see a lot of residents in Monroe Township complain about. These are the same issues that we have right in front of us in a referendum in the upcoming year. I have people that talk to me about, why don't we have full-day kindergarten? And gee, Edison, who now has $12 million more, is bringing back full-day kindergarten to their district. So again, I don't understand why we only spend 30 seconds at every meeting talking about fair funding when all of our issues could be resolved with fair funding. Fair funding should not be something that's just a committee meeting we talk about every once in a while. It should be front and center, the biggest issue that is addressed by the Monroe Township administration, the Monroe Township School Board, the Monroe Township residents. And my only question is, what happened in January that was apparently so satisfactory? What was said at that meeting that was so satisfactory that we went another 9 months without doing anything about it? Thank you.